You're listening to the Business Communicators.
Did you guys see this story that really just went viral all over the internet with Lil Nas and these Nike Satan shoes that he released in limited quantity? I think 666 is how many he released. Sold them for over $1,000.
666.
Have you seen the controversy behind this? I mean, it's just absolutely insane.
I don't look at it as a controversy myself. MSCHF, they're appropriately named. They got into some mischief.
So tell us what happened, Hattie. Tell us what happened.
Well, MSCHF went into partnership with Lil Nas X, rolled out a pair of shoes that have a pentagram, have the a Bible verse from Luke on them, and supposedly some human blood in the bottom half of the shoes mixed with red whatever as part of I'd just like to say, a promo for Lil Nas's new video that came out, and Montero is the name of the video, which up to this point has over almost 6 million views in that one day.
Currently, just a week after release, 70 million views on YouTube.
That is amazing. And the sneakers, 666 pairs, are part of the 666 so-called Satan number, and selling for over $1,000, which personally myself I would not buy because I think they're ugly. I did watch the video, which I think is a visual, for lack of better words, feast in terms of Lil Nas practically gives the devil a lap dance in it, and he's just colorfully made up, and it looks like to me it seems like it just kind of aligns with his whole personality and his opportunity as he came out. He's really coming out in this. So if you have it's very interesting. But I also saw recently where MSCHF was they have a cease and desist. The judges rule that they can stop fulfilling the orders because it's a trademark infringement on Nike, which is typical of Nike. You use their logo, they're going to do a cease and desist. It's regular. It's nothing new. So for people who think they're talking about canceling Nike, needs to stop. That's because they don't understand brand. They don't know anything about the shoe game. And 3, I think that the biggest deal or success for anybody was Lil Nas and MSCHF. They
100%.
got away with it. They got away with this for a minute.
Absolutely. You look at Lil Nas, and I think he's really the first artist that has come from the internet YouTube culture. You know, his song Old Town Road, it started going viral on Reddit and, YouTube. And he really understands how to make a name for himself. Like he understands the algorithms and how the internet works. And Gabriel Whaley, who is the CEO at MSCHF, he's a former BuzzFeed guy. He understands how internet culture works. And so whether or not you like the shoes or not, this is a brilliant marketing play from Lil Nas and Gabriel Whaley, because at the end of the day, people have been talking about this shoe and this song for over a week. You can't buy that kind of publicity. They had to manufacture it, and it's worked because now they're getting like all these politicians to retweet it, trying to say you shouldn't buy these shoes, you shouldn't do this. But they
got ministers in the middle of it as well, saying all this, negative stuff about him too.
Exactly.
So you're right. They won. They won,
and his ultimate goal was to drive people to his song Montero, "Call Me by Your Name," and if you listen to the lyrics, he wants it to be sort of an anthem for the the LGBTQ plus community, and that's what he's really passionate about. And so he's driven, just on YouTube, 70 million people to watch the video. Number 1 on Spotify, number 1 on all the charts, number 1 on all the trending charts. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he's
a prime example of how to use the internet.
Exactly, and he knew that even if Nike did sue him, it was what, $500,000, maybe $1 million that he was out. He got that 10, 20, 30 fold and free marketing and publicity. But Thomas, you're the marketing guy. Is Lil Nas a genius?
Absolutely. Absolutely. His crossover with Old Town Road, and then this shoe is just showing his marketing savvy all the way through. I sit there and think is that if he would have partnered with, the Safe Route, or what Nike's already one of their stable of spokespeople, if Nike would have had the same reaction, not calling it the Satan shoe, but something else, or they would have been like, hey, good job, thanks for promoting us. Because I've seen it time and time again about, and especially in today's world with internet advertising, is we want our ads out there, but we got to be real careful on which sites it goes on to. I've seen places, we're talking the devil shoe, the 666 shoe, but it goes further than that. Is I've seen brands who didn't want to advertise on the Fox show Lucifer because it wasn't fitting their corporate brand. And he only released 666 shoes, well, 665 because the other one was supposed to go out, but it's not going out now. He could have done 10,000 of them and they would have sold out in a week, even at $1,000. It would have sold out before the restraining order would have come out, period. And so Hattie, I agree. Nike had to put out the cease and desist order. It didn't follow their culture guides. If they don't do it, then you open yourself up to a whole slew of copycats and everything in between. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. The restraining order does nothing. 665 shoes have already been shipped. They can't turn around and say, United States Postal Service, hey, we need you to return those. All they can do is turn around and ask the people who bought them, hey, would you mind selling us back your shoe? And anybody who's got half a brain's going to be like, no. Or they're going to be like, yeah, I'll sell you back my shoe for $3 million or some astronomical number and say, okay, Nike, your play. The ball's in your court now.
Yeah, it's just fascinating. And really quickly, I think we mentioned this on the podcast last week, but Nike in 2020 spent $3.6 billion on marketing and advertising in 2020. I mean, that's an incredible number. So, if they are really protective of their brand, and they should be protective of their brand. And they've had questionable collaborations before that have drawn controversy or outcry, if you will. But a lot of people that don't know anything about the shoe game, like Hattie alluded to a little bit earlier, when I look at the Baylor message board, for example, and the Baylor message board is really hyped right now about the basketball team. But there was a thread on there that Baylor University needs to cancel its partnership with Nike. And I click on it. I'm like, what are these people talking about? Like, I was like, is there something I missed? And somebody says, Nike just released this Lil Nas shoe. As a Christian university, we can't stand by this. And then they were getting so violent. And then there were some people in the threads who were like sneakerheads. And they're like, okay, boomer, you don't know anything about the shoe game. Like, here's what's happening. This is not Nike. And the guy was insistent, like, yes, these are Nike shoes. And it's like, yes, they're Nike Air Maxes, but they were customized. Like, the customized sneaker market is so big. And you even see it in sports, too. The customized NBA shoes, the customized baseball cleats, customized football cleats. It's a huge industry. And Nike generally doesn't do much to stop it. They understand that shoe customization is part of the sneaker industry. But they knew that they had to step up because there were a lot of people that were angry thinking this was a Nike-produced shoe. And they had to just say, hey, look, it's not. So at the end of the day, similar to what Thomas said, Nike got what they wanted. They got their name taken away. And so it wasn't a Nike product. Lil Nas got what he wanted. I mean, it's fascinating.
It's interesting you say about the customization. We talked sports. We talked Nike being sponsors, possible things, and pictures of all the different sports, things like that. The sports companies and the apparel companies have been playing the customization game for years. There's a reason a new jersey for every major team is released every year. Is because people will go out because they need the newest jersey with the Nike logo or the Adidas logo or the Puma logo or insert company name here to add to the repertoire. And so the customization of just sneakers, it's been going on for years. It's the whole jerseys. It's why they do the sponsorships. They get money on the sales of the jerseys as well.
Well, let's be real too. If the company also didn't have control of that particular partnership, they're obligated to tell you, no, you can't use this, because while it's just wonderful publicity for them at some point, they also didn't have control of that. When you say Nike has a partnership. They've done some controversial partnerships with people. Yeah, but they had control over those.
Exactly.
They didn't have control over MSCHF and Lil Nas X's partnership. So yeah.
And when you're spending 3.6 billion a year on advertising and marketing, you want to have full control.
You damn straight.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm curious, what is the final takeaway from you guys on this Lil Nas and Nike situation? Hattie, I'm going to start with you from, a communications perspective. What's your final takeaway, and what can communicators kind of, if there's like a lesson learned?
If there's any lesson learned in all of this, from a communicator standpoint, from my perspective, it's you have to control the message. And if you can't control the message, you're going to have to figure out a different strategy and approach. For somebody takes away your brand or thinks they're going to capitalize on your brand for a minute, you're going to have to take the steps in the right way and be consistent about it, just like Nike's been consistent. They were consistent in terms of, they've done this, we're going to send our consistent message out about cease and desist. And if you're Lil Nas and if you're MSCHF, it turns that, we're going to take advantage of this brand for the minute that we can. But once they have communicated that we need to stop, we're going to follow that policy and those guidelines because we can't afford not to.
Thomas, what's your final takeaway from a marketing perspective? What can marketers and communications professionals take from this situation?
Nike's got to protect that $500 logo or $600 logo. I don't remember the exact amount that they spent on that logo 10 years ago. Reality is Hattie hit the nail on the head. Is as business communicators, look for those things to push the envelopes. Look for the advertising opportunities to push the envelopes, but then follow the law. If you get the cease and desist order, follow it. Don't try to break it. But then also on Nike side of it, follow your playbook. I'm actually applauding both sides of it. I think that both of them are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing by protecting their brand and gaining publicity on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. So well done, Nike. Well done, Lil Nas. Well done, MSCHF. You've got the Business Communicators podcast talking about it, just like everyone else is talking about it this week. So well done on this beautiful case study of viral marketing, if you will. So kudos to that. It was just brilliant and good for, Nike for also, I don't know. This thing's going to be just interesting to watch. I can't wait to see what comes next from Lil Nas, from his, marketing ideas and what MSCHF continues to do.
You've been listening to the Business Communicators.